All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a sort of continued lifestyle type of video after we did the Trev's Cribs video a little bit over a week ago. I want to respond to one of the comments there, explain a few things about frugality. The comment was, "Damn, Trev, you are so poor." All right, so I thought this would be a fun one to go ahead and do, and happy holidays to all of you guys. We're just in the just in time for Christmas, right? To do a completely disagreeable, anti-conformist type of video talking about frugality during the one of the busiest shopping weeks of the entire year, if not the busiest, like the week before Christmas, and everyone's going out buying tons of stuff. Let's talk about frugality, right? And not buying stuff. No, I'm kidding. But this one is a response to Donny W. after I did the Trev's Cribs video like a week and a half ago. And I wanted to go ahead and address it and kind of give my thoughts on this one and explain some things to him. Now, could he be just trolling me with the message? And is it pretty obvious to everybody that obviously Trev is not poor? But maybe it isn't, because especially for the younger guys, and I always try to be a good role model for some of you younger guys that are in your early 20s or late teenage years, I feel like I have to explain a few things. So one of the reasons why I wanted to do the video for the Trev's Cribs is because I wanted to show you guys that when it comes down to it, I'm just like any of you guys. You know what I mean? I'm a working man just like you guys. I get up every day, I go to work, and then after that I have fun making videos with you guys because I love to do it. It's a passion, it's a hobby for me, and I love hanging out with you guys, spending time with you guys, and talking about different stuff, especially Walking Dead and, my favorite series and stuff like that, and your guys' favorite series too. So, but in this one, going to focus on explaining frugality. So for Donny, it sounds to me like Donny is really, in this one, judging a book by its cover. Obviously, you guys saw in the house tour video, we do live in an older place. Obviously, it's probably about 67 years old, something like that. Somewhere between like 50 and 75 years old. Probably in the 60s or, yeah, something like that. Like, it's an older place. It's not the flashiest place. It doesn't have, the chandelier. There's probably lots of work that could be done and things that could be updated or just, renovated or what have you. But to explain for Donny, I am, if you didn't know, I am Canadian, and people here, at least some people here, not everybody, it's a bit like, a Can American. It's a bit like United States light. So there is, obviously, a lot of spillover with the materialism from the States, and you get that just about anywhere. There's people that are really into it and everything like that. But being Canadian, I think we're a little bit less flashy. Like Target did not do well over here. When it came over here, they're like all went out of business because people here are a little bit more frugal in a lot of ways. We kind of have to be too, because a lot of the jobs and stuff are not quite as lucrative as they are in the United States, and we have to pay duty on stuff. Everything we get from you dudes down south, we have to pay duty on, and Trump has been kind of making that even more costly than usual. But to explain for Donny, who's absolutely completely judging a book by its cover here in this instance, no, Donny, Trev is not poor. That is not the case. We live this type of lifestyle completely by choice because we want to. And this is a good life lesson for anybody, especially you guys who are younger. If you guys have some opportunity, you figure something out, or things are going really good for you, when they are, try to be a bit frugal with how you're doing. Try not to overextend yourself and go crazy and buy, the latest or greatest Lamborghini or mansion or whatever, or to spend, completely frivolously. Obviously, you can get yourself some stuff to have fun with. I showed you guys my figure collection, but you have to keep in mind, those figures that I got were over like 10 or 11 years of collecting, and if you say they're worth about 20, 25, then that's maybe a couple thousand a year, which works out to a couple $100 a month. It's really not that crazy, and I'm even starting to kind of part with some of those now and kind of downsize because I have too much stuff, and it kind of is filling the place up. So even I can tend to be a little bit more minimalistic than I am right now. So that's something I'm kind of working on right now. But it's up to you what kind of lifestyle you want to live. And I understand for Donny, he's probably used to seeing people in the limelight or the spotlight or celebrities and this kind of thing, where they've got the latest and greatest. They live in the huge mansion with the 2-car garage and, you know, the crazy cars and all that stuff. And or maybe for YouTubers, like a lot of YouTubers probably, in fact, I know they did. You know, when things were going really good on YouTube, that's what they did. They went out and got the greatest car or whatever. And now there's some of them that might have, you know, channels that have 10 million subscribers or millions of subscribers to where, like, you know, they could afford to do that. But now in the last couple of years, being a YouTuber has become extremely difficult to do because there's more people doing it, and the ads, YouTube has not been able to figure out the ads in the same way. So a lot of people that were making a living on YouTube are now having a really tough time. And basically, for a lot, not for all of them, but for a lot of them, it's a downturn, right? It's a downturn, just like can happen in any industry that there is, where people are doing well for a while and then all of a sudden things are not going so well. And it can happen even if you're not an entrepreneur, but let's say you have a job and, you know, you think everything's going great, and then one day you go in and the boss calls you in the office and has to inform you that, you know, let's say, you know, hey, Trev or Donny, you know, sorry to tell you, man, you've done a great job for us and everything like that, but you know, we're going to have to let you go. You know, things are kind of, are downsliding here, and it's not going so well. So we're going to have to make some cutbacks, and unfortunately, you're going to have to be let go, right? So you have to be prepared for these situations in life, and it doesn't mean that we're all going to, you know, kind of come through and be like terrified, lose our job the very next day. That's not what I'm saying either. But what I am saying is that if you get some opportunities in your life, or if things are going well for you for a while, it's probably a very good idea to exercise a little bit of frugality and not get the huge mansion and not go for and overextend yourself, with the understanding that at some point in time there could be, you know, some things that come up, and you don't want to be, you know, you don't want to be in a bad situation when things do happen, right? You want to have some flexibility. You want to be able to relax a little bit and kind of prepare maybe to make your next move if you have to switch jobs or businesses or whatever you got to do. You know, that's really a good thing to do. And in my current situation right now, I'm really glad personally that I did. So he's looking at where we live and he's saying like, oh yeah, I expected a lot more. I expected a lot flashier or whatever. That's just not who I am, Donny. That's not part of who I am. You know, I am not trying to impress anybody. You know, in fact, showing the house off is kind of the opposite. You know, most people probably did think like that the room I film in right here is a lot bigger than it actually is, or that the house I live in is like way bigger than it actually is, or whatever. You know, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it, was because I wanted to show you guys, even if you guys are doing well, even if you guys are killing it, or even if you guys are successful or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to, you know, go crazy like that and spend every last dime that you have, and then maybe take on even more loans and things like this, and kind of spin out of control and kind of go crazy. Even though I know that's kind of almost the norm nowadays. You know, it's just kind of the way I live, lifestyle that we live here, that we like to be a little bit more careful. We like to be a little bit maybe more conservative, a little bit more kind of frugal, and kind of watch those decisions and be a little bit more careful, especially for me when it comes to the big stuff. You know, when it comes to the house, you know, I like to live in a house that's worth about $200,000 right now. It's not, you know, it's not a $500,000 house. It's not a, you know, $400,000 house. That's Canadian dollars, by the way. So it's nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Just about anybody could probably afford to live in a place like that. But it was easily affordable for us. It's increased in value a lot since we got it and everything like that. And so it's for us, it's a gold mine. It saves us from having to make huge payments every month and that kind of thing. So it's really good. And it's not to say also that you can't enjoy yourself too. I think we all have to find kind of a balance for where we want to go. As you guys have seen, you pointed out to me from the figure collection, you're like, Trev, you got way too much stuff, man. You know, you gotta, you know, and it's like, yeah, you know, you guys are right. Maybe I did get a bit out of balance, so I have to kind of, you know, maybe start letting some of that stuff go, and so that's something that I'm definitely doing. But to answer you, Donny, who totally, completely judged the book by its cover, no, Donny, I'm not poor, and I'm doing just fine. I appreciate everybody who supports the channel, everybody who contributes via Patreon. That's great. If you can, I'm not out here begging people for money or anything like that to pay my bills. Absolutely, positively not. I'm well prepared for just about any economic situation that comes into effect here in the future. We'll see. But I mean, I'm feeling good about the future. I'm thinking that everything is going to be really great. And part of that for me is because I didn't go crazy when things were going really well, and so now I get to kind of reap the rewards of that. I get to say like, great, man. You know, okay, the channel's not doing well anymore. That's fine. But I got this other stuff going on over here that's doing even better than the channel's doing. So that's great without even doing anything. So that's cool. So, you know, it's what it is, man. But, you know, I get it. You know, you're used to the biggest, the flashiest, and the coolest and that kind of thing. And that's what you think means success to you. But I'm just trying to tell you here, Donny, that a lot of the people you think are the most successful people because they drive the Lambo or they live in that crazy house or whatever. If you think that means they're rich or you think that means they're making it happen, a lot of the people that are doing that, they might be overextending themselves a bit, and actually it's pretty much the exact opposite. You can't have everything, Donny. You can't have the crazy house and all this stuff with 5 bedrooms, 8 bedrooms, and the nicest cars and all these different things. There's very few people that can actually afford to live that kind of lifestyle and do that type of thing and still, be able to withstand a downturn or still have even a little bit of investments or savings or whatever. Most of the time, the people who live like that, who do that, like for example, famous athletes, for example, sports players, like a lot of them end up going broke. You can look at the statistics if you want to afterwards. So even all the millions they make and whatever they do, if they're not careful with it, they're going to go through it buying whatever. What did Mike Tyson buy a tiger or something? Was it a lion? I don't know. I don't know. Something like that. It's just the stupidest stuff you could ever possibly imagine. It's like, guys, you got to be a little bit responsible. Think of yourself. Think of your family. And, don't worry about what other people think. If other people are not impressed by you, if you're not the flashiest person, okay, that's fine. Why do you want to impress people like that anyway? Like for you, Donny, you might think like, well, if I don't have the nicest car, then we'll get the girl or whatever. It's like, Donny, you probably don't want to be attracting girls like that anyway. If a girl is only going to go out with you because of what kind of car you drive or what kind of house you live in, are you really sure that that's someone you want to be with anyway? Think about that. If they're going to go with you just because of your materialistic stuff that you have, is that somebody you really want? As it's like, that's probably not a good idea, man. Later on, you're gonna hate that. So anyway, that's it for the video, guys. A little bit of frugality goes a long way. Consider it for yourselves in your life, and it's something that we all have to kind of fight with, especially during Christmas week and that kind of stuff. Even myself too. It's like, man, maybe I did buy too much stuff. I gotta let some of the stuff go. Sometimes you got to do it, right? But that's to explain for you guys. Yeah, man. I mean, just for me as well too. Like, try to be responsible. Try to have some fun and find a nice balance there. While also understanding that with frugality can come a lot of relaxation, can come a lot of relief, and you don't put yourself in the situation where it's like, man, oh man, what's going to happen if I get, if something happens, I get laid off for a couple weeks. Oh, I'm going to pay, my mortgage. I'm going to pay whatever. It's like, yeah, I've been there. I understand how you guys are feeling if you're in that type of situation. And all I would say is just see if there's anything maybe you could do to kind of throttle back a little bit, and that we should probably all be a little bit more frugal than what we are. Our lives would probably benefit from it because we get these things, and then afterwards it's like, you gotta be able to manage this stuff, especially if it's on credit or something. You got to pay it off, and it's like, damn, dude, it can just get out of control is what I'm saying. So no, that's not the case, Donny. And explaining frugality for you is it's responsible to be frugal, in a lot of ways, and not overdo it, and not go crazy. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know where you guys live. What kind of place you guys live in, that kind of thing. And if you like the video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and you can subscribe to the bottom left if you're new. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace later, guys. See you soon.